After a week of work, I wanted to relax. My best friend, Katie, invited me over to her place to have some fun. We planned to have a few drinks and relax. When I arrived, she was already in high spirits, her laughter echoing around the apartment as she danced in the living room, music blasting from the speakers. "Hannah, let's go to the club and have fun like old times," excitedly suggested Katie, her eyes gleaming mischievously. "What about your boyfriend? He won't mind?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "Oh, he won't care," she replied carelessly, waving her hand dismissively. "Let's go. It'll be just like before." Katie and her boyfriend, Josh, had been living together for some time. Marriage was out of the question, but they seemed to be fine with it. They loved each other, but both valued their independence. They were happy with the way things were. No pressure, no expectations, just enjoying each other's company. So, without worrying about anything, we headed to the club. Katie was partying like there was no tomorrow, like she needed to unwind after a hard week. She danced wildly, her hair fluttered around her, and her laughter was infectious. By about 11, I was feeling pretty good myself. The music was loud, the lights were flashing, and I started exchanging glances with some of the guys in the club. After all, I was single, but I wasn't really looking for anything serious. It was just fun to flirt a little, to feel the attraction. Katie, on the other hand, seemed to be devoted to Josh, or at least wanted to appear so. She danced with me, laughed, put her arm around my shoulders, but paid no attention to anyone else. After the club, we went back to her house where Josh was waiting for us with a disgruntled expression on his face, arms crossed, leaning against the doorway. "Why do you need your phone?" he asked irritably as soon as we walked in. "I'm home, I'm fine," Katie assured him, her voice slightly slurred from the drink. I realized it was time for me to leave as the situation was getting more and more tense. "Okay, Kathy, I think I'll be going now," I said, trying not to get in the middle of their argument. She looked at me in surprise, her eyes widening. "Are you serious? Come on, Hannah. There's nothing wrong with you. Just stay home. We've got another bottle of tequila. It'll be fun." I hesitated, but Katie was persistent and I stayed. The three of us started drinking together, and as the night went on, Josh seemed to relax and even started joking around. He relaxed, his earlier irritation faded away, and we all laughed together at old college stories. Katie went to put her phone on charge and ended up disappearing for a while. I went to check on her and found her sound asleep with her phone still plugged in, her face peaceful, and she was snoring softly. Josh poured himself one last glass of tequila, and I started to gather my things, feeling the heaviness of the night weighing down on me. He offered to walk me out, but after a while he suggested we go outside for a smoke and talk about something. I was curious, and the alcohol made me more open to everything, so we headed to the balcony. The night air was cool against my flushed skin, and I could feel the world spinning slightly from the drink. By this point, the cognac had taken its toll on me, and Josh's demeanor was beginning to change. He looked at me differently, his eyes lingering, and a spark passed between us, something that shouldn't have happened, but did. His hand touched mine, and before I knew it, we were hugging again, you know what I mean, and the world around us faded away. Something about this moment was electric, forbidden, and yet I couldn't stop. It was wrong and I knew it, but the alcohol and the thrill of what was happening clouded my judgment. We were on the balcony, the lights of the city twinkling below us, and for a moment I thought we were the only two people in the world. Eventually I headed home, gripped by shame for what had happened. My heart was pounding, and guilt weighed heavily on my chest. There in the apartment, my best friend Katie was sleeping peacefully, completely unaware of what I had done. I couldn't believe I'd betrayed her trust like that. She had always been there for me, and I had crossed a line I should never have crossed. I woke up the next morning with a headache, but the pain in my head was nothing compared to the guilt I felt. I knew that I had made a terrible mistake that could ruin my friendship with Katie if she ever found out about it. I spent the day going over the events in my mind and wondering how I could have let things get this far. It was a secret I had to carry within me and a burden that would stay with me for a long time. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and subscribe for more content.